Okay, so first job is to decide how high we want the lock. I generally like it round about where my chest height is. So on each height of gate is slightly different. So this is quite a low gate. So I'm thinking the 400 to the center lock is going to be a good place. So first thing I do is get this and mark 400 mark. Same on the other side. And mark 400. All right. Now this thing is actually designed as a square to run around, but I actually, once we've got the 400 mark on both sides, I prefer to use this. And I sit there and put that over where the line is, and I put the pencil at the very bottom of the middle, and I lift it up and down, and that gives me the cross. So you've got the 400 mark, and then you put this on there, show you again, put the pencil in the middle and just lift it up and down, and that'll give you your cross. You do the same out on both sides. Yep, that gives you your cross. So that needs to be drilled to 14mm on both sides, so we'll just do that now.
You like to want a cup of tea or anything?
Mate, I'd love a cup of tea, mate.
Yeah?
Yes, please. I have no sugar and white.
One sugar white, please.
One sugar white. Cheers, mate. Alright, so drill this out to 14. It's very critical to get this exactly in the middle of that cross, so make sure that you, sometimes it's easier to put a tech screw through it first, so you get a lot less drift with the tech screw. Yep. But that is in the middle there, so I can blast through it. 14, and just make sure that that burr is off all the way around. Sometimes it's worth getting a knife and just trimming it around. Same on the other side. It's drifted a bit. Okay, that's good. Okay. Okay, next job is to cut the spindle to the size of the post. These are 50mm posts. Now if you can see on this, you've got a 40mm, and then that's the 50, that's the 60, that's the 70, that one says 80. So you need to cut it through the 50mm mark. Now, when you're cutting through it, don't cut through the mark, cut it to the mark, okay? Because it's really easy to cut these short, and you do get a second one if you need it. Okay. So you cut that just so you can just see the last mark on there. Hopefully you can see that. Just see the last. Okay. Now the next job is to assemble the pieces. All right. Now this can be set up to be either on this side of the post, or you take it off and spin it around, and it goes on this side of the post. Now this is the way we need it today because it's an opening outwards gate. Most of the time this will get mounted on the rear of the post, so just watch out for that because you will make a mistake if you get it wrong. Now once you've got that together, you have a couple of these silver little screws. Switch the battery over again. Silver screw in there, it goes in the top here. Not very hard, just a little bit. And we've got one that goes in the very bottom there. A second. Okay, in the very bottom. There you go. And that'll hold that plate on there for you while you install it. Second thing is to get this barrel orientated. It's exactly the same as the other side. So on this is currently set up with the barrel at the bottom to be on this side. If you put it on the other side, then the barrel would be at the top and that hole would be in the wrong place. So what you do is you slip it out, turn it around and replace it. And now on this side of the post, which is what we need it, this barrel is at the bottom, which is what you want. Now you also get a keeper so this doesn't come out anymore. This is the keeper. Again, this can be orientated this way, this way, this way, this way. So in here you can see that there's a long groove. So the long groove on here, you've got a small groove and a long groove on the edge. So the long groove goes to the external, and it can either be this way around or this way around. So we need it this way around for this application. You pop the large groove in first, and then just click it in, and that keeps that in. Okay, so that goes on the external. Now we're about ready to assemble. So, okay, you need a few screws to hand. So I carry about 3. And you need your tech gun to hand. All right, so we'll put that up there for now. Now it's important when you're installing this to make sure that this side is in the unlocked position, so this can operate, and then take the key out. Now it's also important as well, this is another important thing, so that little paddle that sticks through there, you put this into the paddle. Now this spindle can turn 180. So that's 90, 90, 90, 90, 180. So it's important for it to be in the center of its operation cycle. So it can be 90 that way, 90 that way, it needs to be in the middle, so it can turn 90 each way in the middle. Okay. Now, when you put these two together, you'll notice that when this is unlocked, it's turned probably about 12 degrees. So you need to turn it about 12 degrees in one direction. Now that is ready to be put together. So this goes through here. Now you'll be very careful that this doesn't fall off and get dropped inside the post, but you put this through like this, and then that then gets pushed onto there. Now that should now operate. Now this is quite a crucial bit. If you can see there, the way I've got it set up at the moment, that lever is not coming all the way up, because the heights of these dictate how far that's going to go in. So you need to make sure that you've got it at the optimum height. You see that? So, and it can also catch. If I've got it all the way down to the bottom, you see it's not releasing. I'm pushing that, but it's not releasing, so it needs to come up a little bit. Now it releases. So where I've got it right now, you've got to play around with it with both hands, get it to the point where it operates with no catching, and that the keeper will go all the way to the top. And once you've got it where you think that it's working correctly, this is again quite critical. Now you've got to try and hold the whole lock in situ, and you've got to make sure it doesn't move. Then get the top ones are the easiest screws to put in. So you sit that up there, keep checking it. Then you have your tech gun that you had prepared quickly. Okay, there's that first one in. Now again, double check everything. This is your last attempt at moving this second part of the lock up and down. But we're happy with where that is, and we can now ignore that back and just concentrate on keeping this side in place. Another screw, sit it on top. Tech gun. Now you're in a place where the lock cannot really move anymore. So pin it in, completely check the function. If you really want to, use the keys and make sure that it completely operates before you put any more screws in. I'm quite confident that that's going to work. So the next screws to put in are the underneath ones. Make sure this is pushed in at this direction. And every time you put a screw in, double check that that screw didn't stop it from operating.
Yeah, lads.
Thank you very much, mate.
One
Cheers.
of the left there's got the sugar in it, yeah?
Perfect, mate. The operation working fine. Now when you've got them 4 screws in, you can just put all 4 of these screws in. They make very little difference. These are more security screws. Okay, that's the lock installed. Okay, so now it comes to actually putting the latch on. What I like to do is hold it in place, get it in the middle, so that's roughly where I'm going to want it. Make sure it's hard up. I get a pencil and I mark the center and all the way up and down. That place. Then you can take the latch off. It's very, very difficult to screw the latch while it's in situ. So then you move it back, you can grab the whole gate. And what I like to do is you need to make sure you get the screw in the center of that line. You don't want it at the top or the bottom because you need plenty of adjustment. So what I actually do is I lift the whole thing up halfway and then sit it at the bottom. If you're going to do it by yourself and you only have one set of hands, do that. So now if I take all that apart, you'll see that that hole is in the middle of the line. Okay, let's put this back in. So that screw should be roughly in the middle of that. Now what we do is we just use the gate and make sure that you're happy with where it is. Now if you have that in the middle, this can blow around in the wind and sometimes annoy the client. But if you have it too low or high, then it won't shut properly. So what I quite like to do is make sure that it is as far down as possible, and that will give you the least amount of rattle. So the way it's situated at the moment is a little high. So I'll just knock that down slightly. See, that's a little low. If I was left to its own devices, it wouldn't drop back down. So we'll lift it up again slightly. Okay, that's pretty good. A little bit of rattle still in there, but you want to just get it down tiniest bit. Okay, and then there's zero rattle in there anymore. Once you're happy with the height of it, you can proceed to put all the tech screws in.